Right now at 5, physical evidence is brought forward as the triple homicide trial continues in La Crosse.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 5. I'm Ken Kozarowski. We will get to that story in just a bit, but first, Onalaska police are asking for the public's help finding a missing teen. 14-year-old Ellie Yang was last seen on June 7th. Police say Yang is not in any trouble and was reported missing by family. If you know where she is or who she may be with, contact the Onalaska Police Department. Investigators took to the stand on day 5 of the Nia Tao trial in La Crosse. Tao is being charged with 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide in connection to the 2021 triple homicide. News 8 Now's Dua Israr has been following this trial all week long, and Dua, we hear that physical evidence was brought into the courtroom today.
That's right. Ken, Tao's attorney laid out 10 cell phones in front of La Crosse County Sheriff investigator Fritz Leinfelder. A majority of those phones belonged to Tao. The defense argued investigators didn't make an effort to obtain any evidence from 45-year-old Kampthaneth Ratanasak's cell phone, the other man also being charged in connection to the triple homicide. Ratanasak and Tao are accused of shooting and killing 3 men at the Rom Squaw Quarry on County Highway M over a $600 debt. The majority of the trial has focused on discrepancies during Ratanasak's testimony and his statement that he didn't pull the trigger.
Sometimes he would say, I didn't flash the gun. And then at another time, he's like, oh yeah, I did flash the gun.
Yes, that's accurate.
He would contradict himself, correct?
Yes, he would.
Witness Bridget Schlicht was at the quarry on the night of the murder. Schlicht previously testified Ratanasak handed the gun to Tao, who shot the 3 victims. She later deleted evidence from her phone tying her to Ratanasak. Closing statements are expected to be made on Monday. Ken?
All right, Dua, thanks very much. Tao, again, faces a mandatory sentence of life imprisonment if he's convicted of first-degree intentional homicide.
Well, it sure was a beautiful day across the Coulee region to end the work week here with lots of sunshine. Temperatures were into the 70s and low 80s during the afternoon. As we head to your zone forecast tonight, you'll see that lows will be dropping into the 50s in La Crosse County. 50 tonight in Maduro, 53 in Holmen, and 57 in La Crosse and Onalaska. Lows tonight in New Albany at 54, 53 in Westby tonight, and 53 in Gays Mills. 51, a little cooler there to the east in Lafarge. 49 in Blair, 47 Melrose, 46 in Sparta, and 47 tonight in Alma Center, 45 Black River Falls, and into the North Zone, Chippewa Valley, lows into the low 50s, 53 tonight in Eau Claire. A check on your 8 to 8 forecast showing that we will be looking at mostly clear skies here between 8 p.m. tonight and all the way through 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, with temperatures into the 50s and 60s there for the most part, making things rather seasonable with very light wind speeds to work with as well. Stay tuned, I'll have a check on that full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Derek, thanks very much. To tag on to that, Winneshiek and Allamakee counties in northeast Iowa are currently under an air quality alert until 10 o'clock tonight. That means the air is expected to reach unhealthy levels. Experts advise people with breathing issues, children, older adults, and people active outdoors should be reducing their time outside during this alert. More than 3 years after the killing of George Floyd sparked national headlines, a report from the U.S. Justice Department finds Minneapolis police engaged in a pattern of behavior that deprives people of their constitutional rights. Willie James Inman has the story from Washington.
What do we want? Justice!
Community reaction was swift after the scathing findings of a 2-year investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department, prompted by the killing of George Floyd.
The patterns and practices we observed made what happened to George Floyd possible.
The report's findings accuse officers of using excessive force, including unjustified deadly force, and say the department discriminates against Black and Native American people in its enforcement activities. Also, that officers violate the rights of people engaged in protected speech, and that both the police department and the city discriminate against people with behavioral health disabilities.
What we saw in the report is heartbreaking, and I think everybody in Minneapolis realizes that.
Former Officer Derek Chauvin was convicted of Floyd's murder, but the report found police had used dangerous techniques for years against people committing even the most minor offenses.
As a result of the Justice Department's findings, Minneapolis and its police department agreed that reforms will be overseen by an independent monitor.
We would hope to see change in this particular police department, but only time will tell.
The Minneapolis mayor says the city is committed.
We understand that change is non-negotiable.
Garland says the reforms will be a framework for improving public safety and also rebuilding trust in the community. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Back in Wisconsin, a second person has died following a small plane crash in the southern portion of the state. And that's authorities from the Federal Aviation Administration reporting that today. The identities of the people killed have not yet been released. Now, the plane took off from Watertown Municipal Airport, about 4 miles from the crash site. The National Transportation Safety Board is still investigating that crash. Wisconsin Republicans voted to end funding for pandemic-era child care subsidies. Democrats and child care providers criticized the vote, saying it is devastating for families and the state economy. The program gave $600 million to child care providers across the state from March of 2020 to March of this year, according to the Legislative Fiscal Bureau. Governor Evers proposed spending another $300 million to try and continue that program. A groundbreaking more than 10 years in the making occurred at the Coulee Region Humane Society this afternoon. Humane Society leaders are celebrating the start of work on a large expansion to the shelter. The expansion will include more space for animals as well as a medical suite. That means more emergency medical procedures animals might need can now happen in-house.
We have found that treating them internally instead of hauling them to and from vet clinics is so much more beneficial to the animals and also to our staff.
Shelter leaders say the expansion is 93% funded so far, but they're still looking for donations to reach that finish line. They expect the expansion project to be completed by April of next year. The Chamber of Commerce in La Crosse brought a crowd to recognize the new Jeep dealership in downtown. This dealership said it's been in the process for the last 2 years and are excited for the opportunity to expand campus into downtown. The GM, Robert Pischke, said any investment into the downtown La Crosse area is a good idea. Just ahead tonight at 5, people living with disabilities are getting out on the water. 2 local organizations donating time and resources for an afternoon of accessible fun.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Welcome back to News 8 Now at 5. An Arcadia teenager got a life-changing surprise today from a local nonprofit. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall spoke with the teen and joins us live in the studio. Jeremy.
Ken, 16-year-old Caden Dahl was born without a right arm and only a short left arm with 2 fingers. Today he got the surprise of his life. Dahl was given a 2017 Dodge Journey SUV. The car was donated by the Gilbert Brown Foundation. Dahl got the keys this morning. Brown donated the car to Dahl because of the great things he does, including giving back to his community and how he's an inspirational role model. Dahl has excelled in school, sports, and has even painted a house with his toes. The Arcadia teenager is happy to finally have his own ride.
Never had one. I've been kind of bugging my mom about it. I really like the interior and just the thoughtfulness of them getting it for me. It just makes me speechless.
Dahl says he looks forward to using it in his daily life. He says he wants to eventually take it on a road trip. Ken.
Jeremy, thanks very much. We will have a link on our website for anyone interested in donating to the Gilbert Brown Foundation. Well, this morning, people living with disabilities got a chance to get out on the water. The River City Water Ski Show Team and the North American Squirrel Association volunteered time and boats to give everyone a chance to experience the fun. This was the first of 2 summer days of adaptive water skiing. We'll have more about today's event coming up tonight at 10. This weekend, there is an open house at the Kane Street Community Garden. The event is free and open to everyone. The Hunger Task Force will have tours, games, and those who donate will get a perennial plant for their own home garden. The open house starts at 10 in the morning. Free produce will be given out at 11:30. Donations from the event go to supporting the garden and the food recovery program. On Saturday, the same folks that run Irish Fest will be celebrating their roots with some Irish road bowling. Road bowling is a challenge where participants see who can get a metal ball down curvy roads in the least amount of throws. More than a dozen 2-person teams will be competing against each other. That competition starting at 11 tomorrow morning in Bangor. We'll have more information on our website. This weekend, Prairie du Chien is remembering the anniversary of the expedition that discovered the area. It's now 350 years since Jesuit priest Father Jacques Jacques Marquette and the fur trader Louis Joliet set off from Canada in 1673 to explore the path of the Mississippi River and opened the door for the first non-native settlements in Wisconsin. The citywide celebration kicked off today, continues through Sunday with Native American performances, expedition canoe rides, live music, food, kid activities, and much more. All the events are free to attend. For a full event schedule, we'll be posting a link on news8000.com, and they do have a lot of events planned. And a Winona tradition is continuing this weekend. The city is celebrating the 76th annual Steamboat Days, a yearly week-long community party that features a carnival, live music, kiddie parade, and fireworks. Now, tomorrow features the BK 5K road race from 8 to 11, a craft fair, cornhole tournament, Little Warrior drum line, the carnival, and of course, the 22nd annual car show. We'll be posting a link with more info on our website. Coming up, tornado damage down south. Cleanup is underway as multiple agencies respond to a Texas tornado that turned deadly.
Hot and dry weather conditions could be on the way for us as we head into next week. Stay tuned for my full weather forecast. I'll have all those details on everything you need to know coming up after the break. Well, it sure was an absolute beautiful day here across the Coulee region to end the work week here as well. We saw highs in the 70s and low 80s and lots of sunshine here too to go along with it. Let's take a look now at that zone forecast for tonight in La Crosse County. We're going to be dropping into the low 50s. 50 tonight in Maduro, 50 in West Salem as well. Feeling comfortable in Soldiers Grove, 53 there for you. Look at the temperature tonight in Hillsboro, 49 for you. La Crescent at 57 tonight. And as we head to our central zones, we got the 40s off to the east, but 50s though back towards the west. So 45 in Black River Falls there, and you can see 47 in Warrens. Meanwhile, again, back to the west, we're seeing those lows in the 50s with 50 tonight in Arcadia, 53 further west in Fountain City. And as we head toward the Chippewa Valley tonight across the northern zones, low 50s can be set here with 53 expected with just a few passing clouds in Eau Claire. So overall, the forecast tonight, La Crosse County, partly cloudy, 57 degrees, slightly on the cool side, light and variable wind speeds to work with. Now for the day tomorrow, a high of 81 degrees, and that's pretty much seasonable for this time of year. Partly cloudy skies, light winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Your zone forecast for the day tomorrow, highs in the low 80s in La Crosse County there, 81 in Onalaska as well in La Crosse, and 80 tomorrow in Viroqua, 82 in Soldiers Grove. And as we head into the central zones, we're looking at highs tomorrow in the low 80s here as well, with a high of 82 in Mondovi, 82 Chippewa Falls, 83 in Eau Claire tomorrow, and a high of 81 in Fall Creek with just a few passing clouds as well. So tonight you can see on Sky Tracker that we have this high pressure system moving away from us, and as a result we're starting to tap into some of that moisture from the west as we're watching a developing low pressure system, as those clouds will increase as a result. And we'll say that here as we head into tomorrow with just some passing clouds as this low pressure system continues to develop back towards the west. So we may see a slight chance of a shower or two as a result of the system moving closer. And as a matter of fact, as we head into Sunday too for Father's Day, there's a slight chance a shower or thunderstorm could become a possibility as that system moves closer. Now meanwhile, I do want to show you the upper level environment here, showing you these upper air currents. We got this upper level ridge of high pressure positioned across the area over the upper Midwest. That's been responsible for helping to keep us mainly dry and quiet here today. We're expecting that ridge of high pressure to really amplify now as we head into next week, and that is really going to send in a lot of dry and hot conditions for us to work with. In fact, so warm that our temperatures will be well above average for this time of the year. And in fact, you can see that on the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook coming directly from the Climate Prediction Center, showing that much of the upper Midwest is going to be above normal in terms of temperatures for this time of the year. And you'll see that here on the 8-day forecast as highs will climb mainly into the low 90s for next week with a mix of sun and clouds. Low temperatures mainly in the 60s. Unfortunately, I just don't really see a whole lot of rain chances in the forecast, even though we do need it. Sunday, probably the next best day here for a while. Back to you.
And the plains are cleaning up after severe weather hit the region Thursday. The system produced a deadly tornado, left at least 5 people dead, and damaged dozens of homes and buildings in both Texas and Oklahoma. Jason Allen reports from Perryton, Texas.
Pamela Teague and her husband tried to salvage memories from a pile of debris, the site of what was once their home in Perryton, Texas.
What can I say? It's all gone. Just got to keep faith. Going. That's all you can do.
The town near the Oklahoma border was hit hard when a powerful tornado tore through the Texas Panhandle Thursday, leveling homes and businesses in the region.
We had parts of things come through our building and up in through the windows and then back up into the ceiling. It's just a lot of damage.
This mobile home park was left unrecognizable. At least 30 homes there were damaged or destroyed.
This whole area is just wiped out.
Perryton's downtown area and local firehouse took a direct hit, but crews were still able to use their ambulances and trucks to reach people in need.
We've had some roofs blown off and some trees, but nothing to the extent that what I have been able to see tonight.
The deadly storm system also hit parts of Oklahoma with suspected twisters and powerful wind and hail.
I've been here less than 24 hours. I ran inside, got my dog, went into the bathtub, and we waited it out.
And a car.
Over in Florida, parts of the state experienced torrential downpours, lightning and powerful wind. So strong, one person died after a tree fell on their home in Pensacola. Jason Allen, CBS News in Perryton, Texas.
More than 500,000 customers were left without power across the South as a result of the storms. There could be more extreme weather on the way from Mississippi through the Florida Panhandle this weekend, hitting some of the areas already affected by the storms once again. When we come back, a little closer to home, Sparta students putting their STEM skills on full display at STEM Camp. This year's edition giving kids a chance to solve problems associated with natural and man-made disasters.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Students in the Sparta Area School District are honing their science, tech, engineering, and math skills at the latest week-long STEM camp. This year's camp theme was Disaster Masters. Students put their STEM principles to work every day, learning to solve problems that come from modern-day disasters, like chemical spills, earthquakes, meteor strikes, and collapsed buildings. Organizers say it's important to run exercises that have some real-world applications.
First project that they worked on was earthquakes. So they actually built their own seismograph out of cardboard and duct tape and pencils and paper towel rolls. So everything we do at STEM Camp is very, very low tech. It's all stuff that you can just buy in a grocery store or hardware store.
Organizers say the Sparta Area School District is the only one in the state that's partnering with the Department of Defense Education Activity Grant to provide the STEM Camp experience. About 125 students, grades 3 through 8, attended this year's week-long camp. We'll have a look at what's coming up at 6 when we come back. And of course, Derek will have one more check of your Father's Day weekend forecast.
Coming up right here on the CBS Evening News, recovery efforts are underway tonight after a deadly tornado struck the Texas Panhandle, killing at least 3 people. We'll have a look at the damage in one of the hardest hit areas and the forecast, what you can expect heading into the weekend. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up on News 8 Now at 6, Sparta School District staff are going to see a significant wage increase for the coming academic year. The only question, how's the district going to pay for it? We sit down with the Sparta's superintendent, who says they are determined to find a way because they believe investing in staff is going to be the right way forward. The district's potential options at 6.
Here's the last check on your 8-day forecast for tomorrow. 81 degrees and partly cloudy. Father's Day, a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Highs around 86. Looking at highs into the upper 80s and low 90s for much of next week. Under a mix of sun and clouds, lows into the 60s.
Thanks a lot, Derek, and thank you all for joining us tonight at 5. Have a very safe and happy Father's Day weekend.